Hi everyone, Sid here, back in the bathroom. Before I get into today's topic, I just want to take a moment to send out my condolences and my sympathies to the victims in the terrorist attacks in Paris and Beirut. That's one of the factors that contributed to it having been a couple weeks since my last video. I try to make a point of not speaking about something when I'm still in shock about it. And that's one of the factors. So the silver lining in this, as far as these videos is concerned, is that through mulling it over, I have some material that'll lead to a couple of videos. So hopefully there will be some good that can come out of that. So today's topic, I would like to continue on what I recorded last time in the car. Because the thing is, when I stopped recording, I actually realized that there were a couple candidates that I wanted to cover that I had totally forgotten. And after I stopped recording, I actually recorded a little addendum about Rand Paul, who's the first such person that I will be speaking of. And when I finished that little addendum, which I wasn't too sure how I would add to the end of the video in a smooth way, then I realized that there were a couple other people that I hadn't mentioned as much as I would have liked, so I figured, you know what, let's just do a part two. Didn't know it at the time, but that's what it is. So with regards to Rand Paul, what I want to say is that the executive summary of my opinion of Rand Paul is that as far as the ideas of liberty are concerned, he's probably the top dog in the running in both parties. Actually, that wasn't the executive summary. That was a bit more elaboration. The executive summary is Rand Paul is cool, but he's no Ron Paul. In the sense that I find that as consistent as Rand Paul is, and again, I'm just some Canadian who's, watching these debates to study advanced sophistry, as I mentioned last time, and I don't really have any deep knowledge of many of these candidates, quite frankly, but From the little I've seen, he does seem consistent with regards to the ideas of liberty, especially compared to the other candidates in the running. But he strikes me as being so hell-bent on appealing to the middle of the road Republicans that he's willing to dilute the ideas of liberty to get them on board. I don't know how true that is. It's just an impression that I have. I mean, I've seen Ron Paul get booed by Republicans, but Rand Paul doesn't strike me as someone who's willing to stay true to his principles to the point of risking getting booed. And I will mention something, because it happened earlier today. I was listening to a recent episode of School Sucks. I'm a little behind with regards to that show, but it was one of the shows where Brett was talking to Lorette Lynn, and they mentioned how Rand Paul is apparently a much better communicator than Ron Paul is, actually. He's alive. So I'm not too sure what to make of that. I mean, again, I was never of the opinion that Ron Paul was a particularly bad communicator. However, I am, when listening to anyone speak about the ideas of liberty in the political spectrum, I am confirmationally biased. So if someone is speaking of these issues in a consistent way with the ideas of liberty, I will tend to, like anyone else, forgive some some faux pas that other people might notice. So I really can't speak much to the speaking styles of Ron Paul versus Rand Paul, but I just wanted to mention that. And if you have any opinions on that, please leave a comment below. I am curious because, again, as far as the ideas of liberty are concerned, he's probably still the top dog in the running right now. And on the complete opposite side of the liberty spectrum, we have Bernie Sanders. The main thing I have to say about Bernie Sanders is I enjoy hearing him speak in the New England accent with the Shatner-type pauses in his speeches and his sentences. He seems like an all-out socialist willing to do the typical Democratic thing of taxing the rich more, and my New England accent sucks. I think you got the idea. I mean, he seems to be your run-of-the-mill lefty socialist with, at least he has the decency to admit that he's a socialist and label himself as such. Yeah, while that's on my mind, I mean, the first Democratic debate, I know there have been 2 debates since my last recording, one on each side, and I watched the Republican one. I haven't had the chance to watch the second Democratic debate, but the first one, my God, it's like all the candidates were just uttering the same 3 sentences over and over again, i.e., give me more power, tax the rich more. Don't you hate Republicans? Give me more power, tax the rich more. Don't you hate Republicans? And that was basically going on and on and on. So yeah, coming back to Bernie Sanders, I'm not surprised that he's so popular because as an all-out socialist, he can, more blatantly promise a bunch of free shit to people. And, even me, I mean, I speak in defense of the rich as far as taxation is concerned, but the rich that exist now, in the corporate structure where they have this shield where this semi-fascist private profits and public losses is I don't have much love for these people, but one thing is for sure, like if this guy gets in, it's ridiculous. I wanted to shoot a video with regards to this more specifically, and I probably will, but like him promising all this free shit and basically having the rich pay for it is fun and all, but my prediction is if he gets into power, he's basically going to be left holding the bag, wondering where all the rich people went who were supposed to pay for all the free shit that he promised everyone else. And yeah, I think that covers my impressions on Bernie Sanders. Again, the caveat that I went into with regards to Rand Paul, they apply to basically all the candidates. And another thing I wanted to mention real quick, and I found this so shocking, and I really hope, well, I'm pretty sure that if you're watching this video and you watch the first Democratic debate, this moment leapt out to you. But when, even when I'm watching a bunch of sophists expecting them to lie and dodge questions if they feel like it, this one had me saying, really? Out loud, when when Anderson Cooper asked Hillary Clinton how she would be different from a third Obama term or a fifth Bush term, and her answer was basically, "Is it obvious? I have a vajayjay." And the funny thing is, she just sat there with that smug face as if she had actually answered the question. That I was, wow. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And personally, if had I been in Anderson Cooper's shoes in that moment, my way of re-asking the question would have been, besides your chromosomes, how would you be different from another Obama term? And what else? Yeah, the last thing, I think I'll apply the aftershave off camera. The last candidate I wanted to rant about is Ben Carson, or as I like to call him, Ben Carson. I don't know if his eyes close like this when he speaks, but I know that mine do. So it's hard for me to tell what his facial expressions are. And I don't have much to say about this guy, but I just wanted to share with you how I imitate this person when talking about him to the 2-3 people in my circle who know who he is. I thought you'd find that interesting. Yeah, anyway, enough of that. So, does that cover everything? Yeah. So I didn't have much notes. I just wanted to wrap up the last couple candidates that I had something to say about. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, observations, and all that stuff, please leave a comment below here. Please like and share this video and subscribe to me on YouTube. That would help a lot. And as always, you will find links to my Twitter and Tumblr right under this video. And that's it for now. I will see you soon where I can resume the normal release, well, where I can continue with the normal plan as far as topics is concerned. I had a couple things. I will be going back into the conversation hacks pretty soon, if not the next video, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, you take care. I'll see you soon.